Hey everybody, how's it going? Mr. Fortin here with another video for you. Now, this video is going to film a little bit about the kinds of things I would say in class normally if I were passing back a quiz, right? We had this quiz, chapter one, we had a couple weeks ago, and this quiz actually took me longer than any other quiz it's ever taken me to grade. It took me a super, super long time. So it's a tough process, tough on all of us here. But I just want you to remember, right? Quizzes are not that important this year. This year is not about quizzes, it's not about testing you guys. It's making the most out of a pretty rough situation, right? We're learning remotely, we're trying to get through stuff. So, because of that, quizzes are not weighted any more than a third of your grade or so, right? So it's 35%. It's a little bit more than a third, but it's 35% of your grade. And it's just meant to just give you feedback, let you know how you're doing, and give you some ideas of how to improve, for instance. So, this year's not about quizzes, but, I don't want to lie to you as well, too, and be like, hey, you're getting absolutely everything. So I want to show you that there's room to run, right? There's runway and there's room to catch up on, and there's time for growth, right? I definitely see in my geometry classes, I see more growth happen from people than I think I see in my algebra classes that I teach. I just think it's pretty powerful, the kinds of things you can do. There's so much information and how we kind of organize it. And where we can get to can be really, really impressive. So if you happen to get below an 80% on this quiz too, by the way, don't freak out, right? Don't panic. You have a redemption assignment, just kind of another like little practice quiz you can do on your own. You can do it with your group. You just got to do it sometime in the next week. It's due on Monday. So if you got less than 80%, do it. And then I will add 10% to your grade up to an 80%. So if you got a 60 on it and want to get up to a 70, do it. Bam, you're up to a 70%. And if you get a 70% on the quiz and you're getting hundreds on all the other stuff, because basically you're just grading it for getting done here, you're going to get a B, right? You're going to get a B for the semester if you just get 70s on every quizzes. That's fine, right? If you get 80s on every quizzes, I'm thinking that's an A, right? I'm thinking that's an A minus, okay? Because again, this whole thing isn't about perfectionism. It's not about getting everything perfect. It's about giving you feedback and making the most of this situation. So congratulations to those of you who did get 100%. We have 100% here in block 3. We have 100% here, a couple 100% here in block 5. That's great. No, you should feel good about that. But you're just going to get an A, and people who are getting above 80% are probably going to get A's as well too. Like, you're just going to have to take it and be like, pat yourself on the back. You're doing the right thing for next classes. Hopefully you can help out other people in the class too. Remember, we have that tutoring program too, right? So another thing I want to mention too as well, if you feel like you didn't do quite as well and you want to work with somebody on the homework, Tuesdays and Thursdays, anybody who's asked to work with a tutor from the class or a homework helper or whatever, you can do the homework with them. I paired them. Every single person who's asked has been paired up with a tutor. So if you're feeling like, hey, I'm getting this 60% out of nowhere, right? What can I do? Perhaps you just start doing your homework with somebody else. And I think you can learn from each other, right? And it's really good if you did get a high score, like a 90 or 93, and you think you can help other people, you'll learn more just by explaining things to people. And the other person you're working with will explain things to you too, and how they're looking at it will be kind of interesting, okay? So let's get into it here, because you're going to have to navigate this to figure out the feedback for you. I'm sending out feedback for everybody in the same file. This is why I asked you for your student ID the other day. Some people gave me kind of like a fake ID, and that's fine too, right? If you didn't want to be identified, you're worried about that. But here, check it out. This is what we have here. We have points earned, including the bonus. And I think I forgot to put here, but this is probably better to look at this one. I'll put another one here. So we have points earned, including the bonus. The quiz was out of 44 points. Okay, it was out of 44 points. Total possible is 44 points. So the way that I ended up doing it was questions 1 through 17, 19, and 21. There was no number 18 there. Those were worth 2 points each. So that was 20 questions worth 2 points each. And then finally, question number 22, that was the proof you had to do. It could have been done as few as 3 steps, and a few people got it, which was awesome. They got it. You're going to get better at proofs by the end of chapter 3. But anyways, that was worth 4 points. So that brings us up to a 44-point quiz, okay? What you're seeing here are your percent scores, right? What we have right down here, and it was out of 44. This is going to include your bonus scores. So the last 2 tabs down here, hey, look down here, guys, right? These are all the problems, right? These are all the answers I got, if they were incorrect at least. But if they were correct, I just didn't put them down. I just put the answer key. We had a couple bonuses, right? We had a couple bonuses. Remember, there was a bonus algebra word problem involving angles and supplement or complements of angles, I think it was. And then there was the attendance question bonus about watching the video for Lincoln, talking about 2 things which are each equal to the same thing. are equal to each other, right? Doesn't matter what your skin are, you're both people. You're equal to being a person, you're equal to each other, right? So using that Euclidean inspiration there, the transitive property, right, is kind of equality, right? You're equal, is kind of what's being talked about there, okay? So anyways, we have 44 points here out of 44 points, and this is a percentage. If you notice here, the percentages are a little bit lower than I typically see, a little bit lower than I typically like. My scores pretty much always for quizzes that I give in class end up being around like 82%, 83%. Like, 'cause I like it around that. I feel like that gives you good feedback. So in a normal year, I'd probably try to scale this a little bit. This year, again, it's not about quizzes. I don't need to manage these quizzes too much and scale them. I just want to let you know how you did, right? So this is how you did here. You can still get 10 more points if you got a 70 or below. And if you got between a 70 and 80, you can get your grade up to an 80%. So that's one thing that I forgot to mention with the redemption assignment, is that if you got like a 73%, you can still do that redemption assignment. Your grade will just maximum get bumped up to an 80%. And remember, I think, right, I haven't run the numbers exactly. I think that if you get 80% on quizzes, and you're turning in all your other work on time, and you're getting it in, and you're communicating with me, if you're not turning work on time, you're just going to get an A for the semester. That's probably what's going to happen. Okay, so again, don't panic right now. This is all just feedback. So anyways, this one, block 3 was a little bit lower. It was 74%. That's definitely way lower than I typically stand for. But again, I think once you do the redemption assignments, this class average is going to come up, right? It's going to come up, and I think we'll feel pretty good about it here. Okay, so those are your scores. Check for your student ID. Make sure that what I have entered to Synergy. So for instance, this is your student ID 200666921. Make sure that I've entered 73 to Synergy. Make sure I didn't enter the wrong grade, right? I've been dealing with this for like a week and a half, trying to figure out how to grade this fairly and giving you good feedback. And so I may have made some mistakes, right? It happens, okay? So just calmly send me a note. And if it's not just a tiny mistake, if it's like a medium-sized mistake, I'll look into it, right? I'll try to fix it here. So anyways, let's go ahead and look at this one here. I'm gonna add the grading legends. Let's add the grading legend here before I forget. Okay, so I'll put that into block 3's thing right here. So again, I'm going to email us this whole thing out. I'll email you a link to this so you guys can look at this and see how you did, kind of reflect on it. One thing that I haven't talked about yet is this class summary. So I just wanted to break this one down here. Let's maybe look at block 5, because block 5 did a tiny bit better, and so the numbers look a little bit better here. I also wanted to break down things you can do, okay? Before I go into the specific problems here, right? I'll go into some of the specific problems in a second. I want to break down things that you can do to maybe perhaps improve, right? Give you guys some ideas of things you can work on, how you can feel more confident and work more productive. And again, make the most of this really strange situation we got going on. I'm not showering, my hair's all messed up. It's a weird year, it's crazy. Okay, so anyways, 14 people here. I'm not really worried about you guys at all. 6 people got A's, 8 people got B's here, right, between 80 and 90. Remember, if you're just pulling B's, I think, right, with turning work on time, it looking like that's probably your grade's probably still gonna be an A when you check Synergy later today. So again, right, if you're not used to getting B's, right, in middle school, people don't get that many B's and C's and D's and stuff like that. So anyways, don't worry about it, right? B's are gonna happen, okay? So no, right, B is an above average grade, right? Above average achievement is what San Francisco Unified School District tells me about that. So they have that on your transcript. If you get a B, that's above average, good to go. To just focus on the next quiz, right? Do some little things here. So just little tips on this, good approach so far. Considering if there are any improvements you can make with correcting your homework, right? That's a big thing too, correcting on the Jamboard, going through. I'm not convinced everybody goes through that entire Jamboard. So you spend the time doing your homework, but are you checking to make sure you did it right? I'm not convinced everybody does that. So improving your notes and studying, right? Just study throughout. Always check those exit ticket feedback things. I write you feedback. Now I'm going to start requiring you to revise it and re-kick it to me. And a lot of people have been doing that today, so thank you for that. But make sure you're improving your note taking, right? That's a big thing. There's so much information in our textbook, so much that if you just spend a minute each time writing it down, you're going to remember a lot better than if you're just reading this and be like, oh, that makes sense, I got it. No, that's sort of like going from B- to like an A- levels. It's just improving your notes just like that. Okay, so reach out to me if you need ideas, right? If you're just like, I feel like I'm working hard, it's okay if you're working hard, but you need to work smart too. Don't work harder, work smarter. So that's where I can come in. So reach out to me and ask me, and I can hopefully give you ideas. Okay, if you did get a C, if you got between 70 and 80%, this is my recommendation to you. Consider trying to do your homework early so you can ask questions to me, Mr. Fortin, over Google Classroom. Okay, this is one thing I'm starting to get on people about, right? It's kind of in fifth block, it's kind of like the same 6 people or so. And in third block, it's kind of like the same 10 people or so who kind of wait to the last minute. And it's okay. I definitely waited to the last minute when I was in high school all the time. So who waits the last minute on the exit tickets, try not to do that, right, with your Monday, Wednesday, Friday exit tickets, because I get feedback to people the night they're assigned, right? I get feedback to them, and then the next day they won't make the same mistakes that they made on the exit ticket when they try the problem set, for instance. So try to do your homework as early as possible. Don't do it right before class if it's a problem set, right? You're not going to get anything out of a homework review. So if you just spend the 30 to 40 minutes every single day, I think you're going to be fine. You can raise your grade from a C to a B for sure. I think just by making sure you're spending 30, 40 minutes every day, but doing it early. Don't do it at 11 o'clock at night, every night, because then you're going to be tired. You're going to fall asleep. You're going to get up in the morning and be like, what was that kept me up? I don't remember anything about it. And then the homework where you'll be there and it'll be like, more of this. And you're just like, it's not good, right? So try to keep positive, do stuff early, right? And I can tell you when you're doing stuff early on the exit tickets. That's why I want to encourage you to do that, okay? Make sure you're correcting your homework each class. Again, just doing it is not enough, right? You got to look into it. You got to correct it. Sometimes when I give exit tickets, people don't even correct their works when I give you the answers in the exit tickets. So make sure you're correcting your work, right? This is a new ball game here. I like to say about Algebra 1, like the typical Algebra 1 homework, like I'd say, at each problem, probably about 80, 85% of people get it right on the homework. It's a little different, right? In geometry, probably like there's some problems I give in here that maybe only like a third of people will get right or a quarter of people will get right just because they're challenging. They're kind of puzzles and they're stuff still worth figuring out and doing, okay? If you get if you got a C, so that's between a 70 and 80, you are eligible, okay? You are eligible for that redemption point assignment. You can get up to 10 points, up to an 80%, okay? So it's likely if you're here, if you got a C, you're probably not gonna get the full 10 points because that would mean you'd be at 70 right now. So it's likely you're just going to get 5 points or whatever. And that's fine. Again, if you get to an 80, that's sort of the goal. If you care about your grades, right, that should help you get to an A if you're doing all your other work and you're pulling Bs on your other quizzes, you're good to go. Okay, and finally, last one here. There were a noticeable number of, I'd say, below 70 points here. So reach out to me, right? First thing and foremost, this is a super weird year, okay? So you got to be reaching out to your teachers if there are major issues going on that we might not be aware of, because we want to make sure we support you, maybe focus on the important things. And hopefully, right, like you shouldn't really be thinking about your grades too much if there's some crazy stuff going on. But if there's some crazy stuff going on, I want to make sure we at least get you to a C, get you to a B, right? Talk about things like, what can we do? Okay, so please reach out to me with that. If not, try to implement some major changes. If you're just like, you know what, I was treating this semester just like last semester, and I was just like, I'm not going to do anything at all. If not, try to implement some major changes to your approach, okay? Make sure you start doing your homework every single day, right? That's it. We're only in class 25 minutes, 35 minutes, 3 days a week, right? Normally, in a normal year, we're in class over 4 hours a week. So, right, just make sure you're putting that time. Watching that video lesson, you watch it on fast forward or whatever, I feel like you'll still kind of get it, making sure you're taking the notes down, and then spending 15 minutes on the exit ticket, okay? So that'd be like more like a 45-minute day, 50-minute day, and then when you have to do your problem set, put in a good 30 to 40 minutes, right? Putting it in, and you're fine, right? I'm not grading you on accuracy except for these quizzes. Just grading if you turn it, okay? Make sure you're writing as many things down as possible. This means taking detailed notes on each lesson. And yes, consider. So the biggest thing I see between students sort of at the A and B level and sort of D and F level, that kind of thing, is just the amount that you write down, right? Write down. You ever hear your teacher say, hey, write that down, right? Not everybody writes it down, right? Not everybody writes it down. So reading and writing, super, super key skills, okay? Reading for sure for the book, right? If you don't read a lot, this is very tough. If you don't write very much at all, this is very tough, okay? So just spending that time, hey, I got a definition, I'm gonna write it down real quick. You'll be thinking about it as you're writing it down. You don't have to think about it much, but like just as you're writing down, ideas will pop to your head, okay? So make sure you're writing as much as possible, okay? And then finally, I know I've mentioned this already, but consider getting paired up with a tutor to do your homework on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Email me, right? Email me if you're like, hey, I need to work with a tutor, I need to work with a homework helper, and it could be somebody in this very class who was willing to help you. I got tons of people who've already reached out to me. Please reach out to me too if you're in like the B or A level right here and want to help out with other people. Please, please, please email me. I think it'd be a really good college resume builder. But I do have enough right now. So if you do need the help, right, if you do want to start working with somebody, say 3 p.m., 5 p.m., you decide, please email me and you can get set up with somebody Tuesdays and Thursdays. Finally, you can also get set up with Lowell CSF tutoring. Yeah, they're very good, Lowell CSF tutoring. So they do this. Here's the link, and you can apply and you can meet with the same person twice a week who's already taken the class. So they've already done all of this right here. So I'd maybe recommend trying to meet with somebody who's in the class currently, because then you can just do the homework together, right? It's a learning experience with one another, but a Lowell CSF tutor would still be able to help you, okay? All right, that's everything that I have to say, at least about these first 2 tabs on these quiz feedback things. So I'll send this out to you. Please watch this video before asking me questions. I know you've already watched the video anyways here. I'm gonna film a second video kind of going through how you can read your feedback, okay? How you can read your feedback so that this video isn't super long. Basically 2 medium-sized videos here. I'm gonna press pause right now, but the next video, I'm gonna go through some of the problems so you see feedback on those. Talk to you soon, guys. If you've watched this video and still have questions, please email me. Perhaps you missed something, or perhaps I didn't cover it. I'm willing to answer. Thanks, guys.